that you had that you'd stole.
Hi guys, this lesson is about showing you how to use the command line on Linux to move around your file system, list the content of directories, and to create and delete directories and files. So the first thing you're going to see on your terminal is what we call the prompt, which is the only text you see right now. And what this contains is actually your username, your hostname, and the directory you're working on, which is also called the working directory. And then there is this $sign, which I'm not gonna explain in this video. And afterwards you can start typing commands. What usually happens is that you write a command, press enter, and there will usually be an output on the next line. And then again it's gonna print this prompt and you're gonna be able to enter another command. So the first thing I'm gonna do is print something. This is like an hello world. So let's say echo, which is like a print, hello. And if I press enter, it will actually execute a command that copies what I just wrote. And this is why hello appears here. And as I said before, the prompt is shown again on the next line. The white rectangle is actually the cursor and shows you where you're going to type characters. If it's over a character, like now, as you can see, it's going to put the character before the one that is currently highlighted. You can navigate the history of your commands by using the arrow keys on your keyboard. You can also go left and right as usual. If you want to go at the beginning, you can press Ctrl A or the home key on your keyboard if that works. And to go at the end, you just press Ctrl E, like end. Alright. One of the first thing we're gonna do, because we're gonna mess with the file system, kind of, is to create a directory. So I'm gonna make a directory, and the command for that is mkdir. Then I'm gonna put a space, and the word that I'm going to type is the name of the directory I wanna create. So let's create a directory named flowers. Then press enter again. As you can see, this command did not actually print anything, and when that happens you can just assume that everything was fine and the computer did what you asked it to do. Another command we're going to see right now is the ls command. This is gonna show you the content of the directory you're working on. So as you can see now, there is something called flowers, and I can already tell you in the terminal I'm using, directories are shown in purple bold font and files are shown in plain regular text. As I said before, we are currently in the /tmp/work directory, and now let's say I want to go to the flowers directory. So what I'm gonna do is change directories. So I'm gonna say cd and then type flowers. Now, here's a little trick. If you don't want to type the name of the directory or because you don't know it, you can actually use autocompletion, which is a feature all modern terminals come with. So instead of flowers, I'm going to just say like F and press tab. And this is going to autocomplete with the next possibility. It is possible that there are many possibilities. So for that, I'm going to create another directory and I'm going to call it plants. Now, if I do cd space and tab, first of all, nothing is going to happen because there is no single result for autocompletion. But if I press it again, it's going to show me all possibilities. So now I can say F, and if there is more than one possibility, again, it's not going to print anything. And if I press it again, it's going to show all the possible words, directories, commands, depending on the context that begin with that letter. But for now, they're just going to be flowers. So again, I can list the content of that directory. And unsurprisingly, there was no answer. And what this means is that the directory is empty. There is nothing to list. Now, if I wanted to do that without changing to the directory flowers first, I could actually do it. So I'm going to go back to the /tmp/work directory, which I can do like that. Because the word after cd, which we call an argument to the command is this part. It's always the first word. It can be either a relative path or an absolute or real path. So I'm going to say press enter again. Then I'm in the /tmp/work directory again. And I'm going to list the content of the flowers directory simply by using an argument to the ls command. Actually, the ls command can accept several arguments. So I can also say /tmp/work and flowers. So now I have two arguments. And you can see the output. It's going to list the content of flowers. There's actually nothing in there like before, like here. And the content of the work directory, which is like this, except that we added a directory in between. Now, let's say I want to create an empty file in the flowers directory. What a lot of people do when they don't have a lot of experience, that they will first change the directory and then do something. But actually, you can just do it from here. And the command we are going to use is called touch. What this does is create a new empty file if it doesn't exist. And if it does exist, it's actually going to set some metadata, basically setting the last access time and date of that file. But let's just write something, and this will be hopefully an empty file. Let's say whatever rows. Alright, now if I list the content of flowers, it's gonna say rows. So as I said, you have directories here styled in a certain way, and files, regular files, styled in another. Depending on where you are, you might have other colors or styles, and this means that you have special files. Maybe they are programs, which means they are executable files, or you might have other kinds of files like devices, and they will usually show up in another color or with italic font or whatever. Now you can actually use different kinds of arguments for the ls command, and as I used before, you can use directories, or you can actually also use files. And this just printed the file name, or the file path, to be more specific. And you might want to ask yourself why you're gonna need that for. And this is actually useful to verify maybe that the file exists, or maybe you don't know that this thing here is a file and not a directory. So if I was to write the name of a file that does not exist, like whatever, it's gonna print an error telling you it cannot access this FGH file because there is no such file, or directory, because the command doesn't know, because that thing does not exist. Now let's say I want to delete the flowers directory, and the command for that is remove directory, and you cannot use it without an argument. It's gonna say missing operand, which is synonym for argument, and you can actually type mkdir space dash dash or minus minus help. So let's just do that. And here it printed you like some kind of very small manual for this command. It tells you what the command does. So it's gonna remove a directory or several directories if they are empty. And this is actually an important thing. So let's do mkdir flowers. Boom. It failed to remove flowers because it is not empty. You should not be surprised. One way to remove the directory will be to delete all its content. So for that intent, I'm just gonna introduce you to the next command, which will be rm for remove. And now I can remove the single file that is in that directory. If I press enter again, no output means the command usually worked. This is most of the time what happens with the terminal. And if I try to remove the directory again, it's gonna be successful. Now, for the sake of it, let's just create the directory again with the file. Whoops. And I can actually use the rm command on directories as well. But wait a second. Oh, it says I cannot remove flowers because it is a directory. Well, this is not actually true. It can do it, but we will need to give it what we call options. As you saw before in this help page, there are here some things that start with dash or minus, and these are these options, like it says here. So you usually have a command, a space, one or several options. This here, these brackets mean that the commands are optional. The options are optional. This means that you can put one or several options, and this here doesn't have the brackets, which means it's mandatory, which is the reason why here it said that something was missing. And now the rm command also has such options, and one of them is remove recursively. So this is gonna delete the flowers directory and all its content. Now, if I were to list the content of the work directory, the flowers directory is gone. All right. Now, one last thing. Let's go back to the plants directory. Let's say I want to go up in the hierarchy. What I'm gonna do, I don't need to always write the complete path. I can just write, instead of this, cd and 2 dots. And this actually means the current directory and go up to its parent. As you can see, I just changed directories and I'm now here. You can actually use that several times. So let's go back. And if I do this slash and that again, then as you can see, this time I jumped to that directory and then to that one. Voila! This is the end of this first lesson. I hope you liked it, and make sure to click the subscribe button.
It was the thing that you had that you'd stolen.